Hey everybody, how you doing? We are back for another spin of the wheel. So let's see who we are reading for today. I swear to God, if it's in all signs. Oh, that almost scared me. The light blue is Gemini and all signs. That just scared me. We just did all signs yesterday. It is Cancer. So Cancer big three. What other placements may be significant for you, or if you're cross watching? We've got Leo, Neptune, and 7th house. All right, Leo, Neptune, 7th house. Okay, firstly, it may be super significant if you have Leo, Pisces, or Libra in your big three. If you have Cancer ruling your 5th, 12th, or 7th house, or if you have any combination of Cancer, Leo, Pisces, and Libra. Okay, Libra is also associated to Venus, so you could have Venus in one of those signs. And you could be, well, we said Pisces, but Leo rules the sun, so it would be even more significant if you had one of those placements as a sun, right? If that's your sun sign. Okay. Hey, Booker, how you doing? Yeah, I'm always on late. I told myself I was going to try and get on or upload something every day for 30 days. It was 11:55 when I went live. All right, I made it today. I made it. That energy in and of itself, before we even get into cards, Leo rules the 5th house. So it has a lot to do with children, creativity, things you're passionate about, right? Things that drive your contribution, your mark on society. Okay. With the 7th house, it's partnerships. So it's how you leave your mark on partnerships, how you get creative and or change being in a partnership, right? The difference between single you and in a relationship you. And Neptune, which is a little delulu. So Neptune can be a little delulu. It can be really, really cleansing. So, you know, your mark could be very cleansing, but it could also be very misunderstood, right? And that's going to be probably the theme for you if you resonate with Cancerian placements or any of the three up here on our dice. Let's see. We're going to go Harrow. We're going to go my hand-drawn cards. We're going to get into my Energy Insight Oracle. It's been a little while since I've used these. To be fair, up until about 10 days ago, it was rare that I used any of my decks. That is what we'll do for the main energy. See who we're dealing with people-wise. Let's do, I think we're going to do the Mystical Manga Tarot. Maybe the the Naked Heart Tarot, and we'll do Mirror of the Soul Tarot. Okay. Let's get these extra stuff out. All right. Let's start with Harrow. For those of you unfamiliar with Harrow, Harrow is from the world of Pathfinder. They are D&D cards, and they work exceptionally well in card reads. So let's see. I love D&D. My son and I are running a couple campaigns, just the two of us right now. All right. For Cancer, please, and anybody else who would resonate, especially with the dice. Really, you could have Venus, Neptune, or the Sun in your 4th, 5th, 7th, or 12th house. We got the Avalanche and the Courtesan. I feel like those two cards are going to go together. Okay. What else? Okay. And Cancer, you could take it how it resonates. You could take it how it resonates. All right. There's going to be at least 2 energies on the board, 2 people. They both may resonate with you. I highly suggest looking in your mirror. That beautiful divine mirror, right? What we see in other people is part of ourselves in some which way, shape, and form. Spirit, please further clarify these 2 energies. They could be people, they could be situations. So like I said, take them how it makes sense for you. Okay. I feel like there's another one. What else? For person 1. Okay. And for person 2. Okay. I'll take one more. Ooh. Okay. That's interesting. Oh, just FYI, guys, I'm going to be I spent several hours today going through June astrology notes, like a day by day, like breakdown of the month of June. And I did that because after doing the all signs reading yesterday, oh my God, there was so much fucking mayhem, especially at like the middle of the month for almost all the signs. There was some kind of crazy shit. And there is some crazy shit astrologically that is peaking on the 15th of June. So I'm going to do a whole video on June's astrology. Make sure you subscribe and hit the bell if you don't want to miss that. I'll try and give you guys a heads up and like schedule it in advance so you guys know like hours in advance. Okay. What energy are they in? What is their alignment, person number 1? What is their alignment, person number 1? Y'all have some interesting energy. I will give you that. There's definitely like, okay. Person number 2, what else? All right, person number 1. Came out with the Avalanche and the Courtesan, as well as the Mushroom and the Open Door. Energy alignment cards are Earth Angel, Equal Energy Exchange, 2 wonderful light cards, and the shadow is Dream Waster, right? Reverse, I would be Dream Achiever. So Dream Waster. the avalanche. It's a lawful evil energy, and it is a disaster. It is an unthinking, unreasoning thing that overruns all who gets in its way. It can represent physical disaster or disaster that comes from panic or other unthinking. Which is interesting because the courtesan, I'm going to read you the courtesan, but the courtesan, their energy is highly dependent on other people. Okay. Like people talk about matching energy. The courtesan is chaotic neutral. It is the card of political intrigue. Her mask embodies social niceties that must be followed. If it slips, negotiations can take unexpected turns. It can indicate a woman of power who shapes events, and how she's treated decides the outcome of the situation. It doesn't have to be a woman, but it could be someone in feminine energy who's receiving, and they are not they're not quick to make sense of things. They're quick to be chaotic. They're quick to be disastrous. The avalanche being lawful evil, the courtesan chaotic neutral, like this person, whoever this person is, to be honest, Cancer, it could be you, and you may find yourself in situations where you do react like that, where you are not using your head and you're acting off emotion, right? That's possible. It's a facet of you. But this this energy is someone who definitely reacts and does and thinks about it later, if anything. But it could be more malicious reaction. Like when they get emotionally upset, instead of crying about it, they're more likely to go find a baseball bat and take it to your windshield. You know what I mean? Like the disaster might be a little more crazy than just, being upset and crying and doing something stupid. It could be like someone who emotionally reacts to something, and you know how like people think like, oh, well, I thought they cheated on me, so I went out and cheated on them, and they did it without even giving it a second thought, like didn't even verify that what they heard about cheating was true, and just was like, fuck it, I'm going to go out and get even then. Like they fucking cheated on me, I'm going to go cheat. And there's no, like, you didn't even talk about it with them yet. You know what I mean? Like it's that kind of vibe. The mushroom, obviously we all think of magic mushrooms, and it can be a kind of in a different world mental state. It can be an antidote, right? It could be medicine. It could also be poison. So like it's a very powerful symbol, the mushroom. Certain people, you could survive off mushrooms, right? If that's all you ate and you didn't pick the poison ones, like you could live off mushrooms. And we got the open door. I feel whoever this person is, I do feel like they are an earth angel and they do equal energy exchange, but it's not necessarily the kind of angel persona that you would necessarily think of, like some beautiful cherub coming down from the heaven to give Mary a message, and it's benevolent. Like sometimes the actions angels take in service to the greater good do things that affect people, right? They do things that affect people. It's not always great. They aid in things that aren't necessarily, it doesn't come off as good. An example would be like if angels had assisted the divine with the great flood and flooded the earth and started over, you know, like they destroyed humanity for the greater good. So, you know, earth angel, they're highly dependent. They're highly dependent on the energy that's around them. I do think they have a pathway forward that could be like medicine. That could be very positive, where they could be of great benefit, but they're in the shadow of dream waster. So they don't actually believe that they can achieve their dreams, their visions, right? When they visualize happily ever after, you know, maybe they've done it all their life and it's never really happened like that. So they stopped visualizing and they stopped believing in their dreams, right? They stopped believing in their dreams, which is a problem because that means this person has great potential. It means they have great potential. But potential means they aren't there. And like I said, this person is highly reactive. They're highly reactive, more reactive than you may have even really thought. You know, like maybe you wouldn't have necessarily described them that way before, but sitting here thinking about it, like, yeah, they are reactive or react impulsively. Now, person number 2. Person number 2 came out with the Queen Mother and the Keep. Obviously, Queen Mother is a female, but always take genders as they resonate. It's just energy. The Keep and the Queen Mother came out with the Cross and the Getaway. They came out with 2 root chakra cards, Trustworthy and Reasonable. And the shadow that came out was Selfish. Okay. Not necessarily generous or considerate, but selfish. Okay. Okay. Straighten my cards here. The Queen Mother. It's lawful neutral. The Queen Mother is knowledge personified. The Formian knows all, but does not reveal anything to anyone who does not show her proper worship. She is fond of the powerless and the underclasses, for they serve her when the more powerful refuse. She represents the need to become part of society, or to bow before those who know more than you. The Keep, which she comes out with, is neutral good. The Keep is a symbol of quiet strength, one that can move when necessary, yet stand firm through the greatest hardship. Those represented by the Keep are not shaken by any force. They don't fall to temptation, okay? The Keep does not fall to temptation. It's greater strength. They're fortifying, right? Their energy is fortifying. With the Cross, they're also an earth angel, but the divine weeps for them, right? It's like empath energy. The divine weeps for them, especially if they put themselves in situations where their kindness or consideration or loyalty or light is being taken advantage of. With the Getaway card, if person number 1 does some dumb shit, some not using your fucking head dumb shit, person number 2 might leave. Because the shadow is selfish. They will not consider the other person if the reaction is bad to whatever is going on. And we'll get into that more when we hit the tarot in a minute. But this person, at least, the very least, they're perceived as selfish from person number 1, just like person number 2 might perceive person number 1 as a dream waster. Shadows indicate how we perceive. other people when it's our own shadow, right? Because people project. Like person number one could accuse person number two of only thinking about themselves, even though they are a trustworthy and reasonable person, which means this person is not going to act irrationally or without thinking like person number one would. If they do some shit like skip town or be out, there is a reason, right? There is a reason you could trust is valid behind why they're skidding out, while person number one does not think things through, and their reason for reacting that way may or may not be valid based on truth, right? Okay, let's see what's going on. We're going to start with the mystical Manga Tarot. What is going on with these two people that they would be our blessed sign and dice for the day? What is going on? What is going on? What is the situation? Then we'll get into each of them as individuals. What is going on? Insight, please. Definitely got Pisces out here. I've got Gemini out here. I've got Cardinal Fire out here. Aryan energy. Clarities, please. Okay, give me one more. Give me one more. All right, fuck it. Take it a layer deeper. Take it a layer deeper. Let's get specific. Let's get real specific. Take it a layer deeper, please. For Cancer and or Leo, Pisces, and Libra. Okay. Okay. So King of Wands, passionate individual, can also be considered a self-serving individual, but they are apologizing for betrayal. They're trying to right a wrong. We've got the King of Wands with the Page of Cups and the Ten of Swords. The Ten of Swords is reversed. You do have, there is someone trying to right wrongs here. They're holding on to a message they received from Spirit, or they're holding on to something like a communication that's become a part of them in regards to love, right? There's something that's becoming or has become a part of who they are. And they want to love. I don't like the last couple sets, if I'm going to be real honest. The moon came out with the King of Swords and the Seven of Wands and the Eight of Cups. I feel like, take it how it resonates, but I feel like the Queen Mother might be the moon. That energy, right? That Pisces would be affecting whoever you are. I do feel like you might be more resonant with person number 2, to be honest. But I feel like on the outside, what you're first seeing is people trying to work it out, trying to mend betrayals, right? Working on things. I'm sorry I fucked this up. And they're like, yeah, I'm sorry I fucked that up, right? Mutual apology. I do feel like maybe both parties are holding on to something that Spirit gave them, like some kind of communication that they received about love that it defines them. They're holding on to each other. But it's like the deeper we get, what's subconscious, because the moon is things that are veiled, right? Things that are hidden or things that are unclear. The subconscious, right? It's deeper. Things that we think about and feel about internally. I think the inner conversation is much different than the outer presentation, because this energy is secreted, logic, detachment, defending the self, right? Self-defense spiritually and forward movement if unfulfilled. Followed by a Three of Swords, right? The Three of Swords clarified by the Sun energy with the Two of Swords and the Six of Cups. That's painful. Painful for the light of the self. Like, that's pain to the authentic self. You're like, do you choose your light, or do you choose a sacred soulmate that you've known from like past lives? Someone you have a lot of history with. Right? The Six of Cups is like Venus and Scorpio energy. That's past life love. Like, it makes me question if y'all are secretly, when I say secretly, I mean you're just throwing it around inside your mind. If like you would both go full blown like in, but also knowing if you found something better or different, you would leave what you have. Because as much as person number 1 might hate to admit they are also like person number 2, there's a facet of them that is like person number 2. Like y'all share energy. Y'all mirror energy. The fact that we have the getaway in one person's energy and dream waster in the other, and then we have this kind of diluted secreted break, right? Like, we've got Leo out here with the sun, that's up there. We've got the moon out here with Pisces, that's up there. And the lovers is Gemini, but damn it if it ain't Venusian. You know, like, you can't tell me that Venus ain't fucking the lover's card. I'll call it Libra. King of Swords is cardinal air, that's Libra. But we got all the dice out here. All the energies on the dice are out here. Things going on in those signs might be affecting y'all right now, especially if y'all have natal Libra placements or Neptune in the 7th house, right? Some of y'all might be choosing between a child of yours and a soulmate. Or for some of you, it might be grandchildren, right? Like the path before you would split. You'd have to choose. What's going on with person number 1? What's going on specifically with person number 1? Okay, so they're the ones driving some kind of choice. Like that's what they're gunning for. They're gunning for some kind of choice to be made, specifically maybe to anchor in, right? Throw anchor and establish some kind of path. The Magician, Gemini energy out here again. So you could have Gemini in your own chart. They could have Gemini in their chart. Could also be Virgo. It's mercurial. Okay, so they're the 6 of Cups. And I think a part of them is like losing patience when it comes to the choice being made. Libra energy, Justice. Oh, Venus is definitely out here now. Okay. King of Swords is on the bottom. 8 of Pentacles. 8 of Pentacles is on the bottom of the mystical manga tarot. Got the Queen of Coins on top. I think person number 1 is the one driving the desire to put in work. I think they're waiting a little bit on person number 2. And to be fair, if they're waiting on person number 2, it's because person number 2 is trustworthy and reasonable. They think things through. They're not just going to say yes and rush into the steps of a choice without thinking it through. The King of Swords has the 7 of Swords under it. That's deceptive. 3 of Swords under that. This detachment on the inside, being unsure of each other, might be what hurts. Because you both want to put in work to get the 9 of Cups, right? The wish. You guys want the healing, want the reinvention, want the passion back. But I think honest communication is what needs to get worked on. And if that is not worked on and communication anxiety is not corrected, you guys are going to hit a major wall with your dynamic. Y'all got to learn how to fucking talk to each other. Like clearly, honestly, while you're thinking it, feeling it, just being honest and not like sitting on truth with each other. Sitting on feelings with each other, because it's all these secreted thoughts of like self-defense and what if they leave? Like, what if they leave? Well, if you keep worrying about what if they leave or what if whatever, like what if this happens or what if this or that doesn't improve, like it's all the ruminating on the what ifs that might prevent you from looking at the what is. What's going on with person number 2? What's going on with person number 2, please, Spirit? Specifically person number 2. Where are they at? The world reversed. So they might be the ones that allowed the door to reopen, right? If person number 1 has the door open, person number 2 opened it. Oh, come on, cards. I want you to go like literally under my chair. Okay. Person number 2 has the Princess of Cups on bottom and the Knight of Swords on top. Okay, we got King of Swords energy over here too. So the King of Swords is out 3 times. The King of Swords is out 3 times. So y'all might have some seriously major air in your charts. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, real heavy in your birth chart. I've also got Saturn, Aries out here. So much air. So much air. You might have a air sign, Saturn. All right, you could have Saturn in one of those air signs. I think that person number 2 is doing a lot of talking. They're doing a lot of talking. And they may be holding compassion for someone who may have been slow to catch up. Because, you know, the Princess of Cups is holding a turtle or a tortoise in a shell. And she's got the swan at her crown. The 4 of Cups is under that with the Death card. 44. Right? Double 4s. And then the Hanged Man and the Moon. So this person number 2 is really water. Like, you might dominate in water and air. I think you're accepting the apology. If the apology was given to person number 2 from person number 1, I think they're obviously accepting the apology. But it's almost like they're taking it for a grain of salt. Like the 4 of Cups misses an opportunity. So they, might not be apologizing for as much as they could with the apology exchange we were talking about earlier. They might still have things they need to own up to or recognize that maybe person number 1 hasn't brought to their attention yet. But like major arcana, bang, 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 person number 2 wants nothing to do with dishonesty, nothing to do with what's hidden, nothing to do with illusion, nothing to do with gaslighting or playing games. Like, they are holding on to worry, and they are ready to fly with the Knight of Wands. They are ready to fly if it's botched. For sure. And I don't doubt person number 1 can feel that. If they can feel, right? If person number 1 can feel person number 2's hesitance because of worry or whatever it is, it's going to make them second guess if they're putting in enough effort. Like, or they're going to overcompensate and try too hard, which person number 2 might not be able to match that energy because they're not quite on the same, like, I want to try really hard to make this work. It's more like person number 1 catching up a little bit. It's not going to seem fair. And person number one could accuse person number two of not caring. I think person number two does care. I think person number two is fucking scared to care. But it's so fluffy on the surface, what's being presented with all these things secret. Person number one can't clearly evaluate person number two. They're not getting a good read on them. You know, like as far as what's being projected and what they're feeling, it's not adding up. And person number two isn't necessarily giving the clarity. They don't want to talk about how worried they are and upset, or how much anxiety they're in, right? Or how much pain they're in, or how disappointed they were. Like, we've got a truce here with the King of Swords reversed, the World card with the Ace of Swords reversed, the Five of Cups with the Emperor reversed. Like, person number two, they know it's not over between them and their truth. They haven't settled it out and healed the issue between them and their truth and communicating truth when the truth needs to be communicated, right? Not sitting on it. Like, they're disappointed and they're not taking action to address the disappointment, right? To address the sadness. There's sadness there. What is the tool being used? What is the process being put in place to address the disappointment that person number two has, that they feel like they can't take action towards person number one? You know, that person number one may be putting in more effort or showing more desire to make things right than person number two. They're calling a truce right now because I don't think they're ready to cut ties. This specific King of Swords, it's the prince in this deck, but the princes are the kings in this deck. It's in reverse, but you can see the king is about to throw that sword and cut them cords, right, to all those smaller, lower energies. About to cut the cords. This is in reverse. I don't think person number two is ready to cut the cords. I think if person number two truly did find somebody better, that they clicked with better, that was more in alignment with them, I think they would leave person number one. I think they would. I just don't think they found anybody yet. I don't know if they're looking or not, but if that new click person showed up and crossed person number two's path one day, I think person number two would be out. I think they might even get petty with person number one and keep it a secret. Because they don't even want to feel for whoever this new person is, because they'd be at war with their own selves. The Emperor in the reverse, they have no control over their emotions, right? Which is the reflection from person number one. It's probably why they think on things a lot, because they know their emotions are a lot to process through when they're trying to decide what to do. I think y'all have good intentions and are putting on a great show for each other. I don't doubt that the crowd is applauding the performance. Everybody bought it, right? Everybody buys the performance, including y'all two. You're convincing yourselves that you've bought the performance. But on the reality, if you go deep inside your head and you start really being conscious of the thoughts you're having that you're not talking about, you don't fucking trust each other. You don't trust each other to stay. You don't trust each other to not leave. I think if either one of you found a better option, a solid option, and you had a click, just that click with somebody else, I don't think you would think twice about each other. I'm just being real with you guys. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. I think there's a lot of love there. I think there's a lot of history there. I think there's a lot of care there. There is not trust there. Build a relationship on it. You know what I mean? Like, build a relationship on it. We're going to pull a guidance card for you guys. I'm going to use the Crystal Mandala Oracle. Like, I'm all for things working out. I really am. I want the happily ever after for everybody. I hope everybody reaches it one day and sooner than later. But I am a fucking realist. when it comes to the energy I read. And y'all, and my beliefs are not going to get there unless you are fully aware of yourselves. How are you going to achieve happily ever after that I believe is possible for everybody? How are you going to achieve it if you don't face the stuff that is between you and that? Right? Can't ignore the shit. I mean, you can click off and be pissy, but you're going to come back later and you're going to listen and be like, you know, and that's fine. I'm here. I don't feel some type of way either way. I love you regardless. So, Spirit, what's the advice? What is the advice for those who have been drawn to and resonated and caught this reading? Individuality. Angel 𝐤𝐞'𝐫𝐿. I do not know how to pronounce that. 𝐤𝐞'𝐫𝐿. Angel 𝐤𝐞'𝐫𝐿 and labradorite. This deck has such pretty fucking cards. All right. Let me read for you, my darling. Let me read for you. Angel 𝐤𝐞'𝐫𝐿. Individuality. We bring you the gift of individuality. As you receive our gift, you will feel safe enough to enjoy the aspects of yourself that truly make you unique. From particular interests to your way of expressing yourself to what excites and inspires your spirit, your individuality is the way the divine wishes to manifest itself through you this lifetime. The key to your divine life purpose is to know who you are and to love and accept that self so that you allow natural development and expression in the world to take place. As you accept your individuality, you will understand how natural it is for you to fulfill your life purpose and divine destiny. You will instinctively gravitate towards people, places, and energies that support you in being your bright, true spirit. You'll grow and express yourself more freely and authentically. And the divine light within shall shine brighter without a veil of fear, confusion, or shame obscuring it. You have no need to compare yourself to any other. You are a unique child of the universe with your own special path and destiny to fulfill. There are as many ways to live your life in service to love, light, and power as there are stars in the sky, maybe even more. What matters more than whether another understands your lifestyle and choices is whether the choices you make reflect your own personal values. The first task you'll have on your path of discovering and honoring your individuality is to ask yourself, what has meaning for me? If you don't take the time to question and reflect upon what really means something to you, you'll simply be moved according to the values others impose on you. Those values might not mean anything to you at a deeper level, yet you may be afraid to step outside of what others say is safe or true. Without pausing to reflect upon your own personal values, you will miss an opportunity to get to know who you are and what you stand for, to discover your individuality. When you do not know who you are, you will not be able to love and appreciate your divine beauty, nor understand what drives you, and be able to commit unconditionally to your life purpose and your divine destiny. Without unconditional commitment, you'll give up when things get difficult, even when you are strong enough to keep going. You'll place restrictions upon how the universe can conspire to create your destiny in the best possible way by doubting when the timing or circumstances don't match your expectations. You'll not know what matters to you, and so you will more easily become overwhelmed by distraction. And in that overwhelm, confusion, and self-doubt will undermine your own progress. So your second task will be to use the courage within your heart to set priorities that match your inner values and act on them. It takes courage to live as your true self in all ways, to make choices that honor what you value more than what you might have been taught to fear. You are absolutely allowed to do this. It is your divine birthright to choose the values that feel most authentic, truthful, inspiring, and exciting to you. Whatever excites your spirit, inspires your mind, moves your heart, and awakens your body is key to discovering who you are and why you are here. The only people that will ever have any power to judge you, control you, or hold you back from your destiny are those whom you empower to do so. At any moment, you can make a choice to liberate yourself from a fearful influence by deciding you shall love yourself no matter what and commit unconditionally to what has meaning for you. When you love yourself enough to be open and forthright about who you are without needing to convince anyone of anything, but just be willing to be yourself and share that with the world in your own particular way, your pathway to divine success materializes at your feet. It may not look like any path you've seen another person take, and that doesn't matter at all. In fact, the more unusual your path appears to be, and the more it seems to suit you and perhaps no one else, the more the universe is telling you that this is the way, your way. You'll feel as though you are a pioneer discovering new ground. You'll feel you are making it up as you go. And this is how you know that what you are living is uniquely your life journey. No one else can script it for you. It is a beautiful creation of your own making, an expression of your own unique relationship with the universe. Your path and your purpose is as individual as you are. Give yourself permission to dive deep into yourself, dear shining one. Ask yourself what you love, what matters to you, what you are willing to never, ever give up on. It's your time to discover more of your passionate purpose and divine beauty. This is something you choose of your own free will, right? I think the big reminder for both of these people is to just be authentic to who you are. If you're in alignment with each other, your paths will continue to run parallel in your authenticity, in your beautiful divine individuality. The person meant for you is going to be them, and you're going to be you, and they're going to love that you're you, and you're going to love that they're them, and you're just going to run parallel. That's divine alignment. I think if y'all are spending a lot of time convincing each other of something, are you really being true to who you are? Maybe there's no need to put pressure on this or rush forward. Maybe instead of trying to pretend everything is going to be perfect, maybe keep that goal in mind, that visualization, that dream of everything being perfect again in mind, and working on the trust build. Working on the trust build. Because that, I think that's key for you guys if you do want it to succeed moving forward. And I think both of you might have to be a little real with each other, at the very least with yourselves. Because I think the underlying poison is the fact that both of you intuitively know y'all would leave each other. If the situation was right and the right people aligned for you guys, I think you'd leave each other. You know, and I think that's something worth noting. If either of you had better options, you wouldn't choose each other. Why are you guys optional? Why are you guys optional? Because that's what you have to address. If you want to stick it out together forever and live happily ever after, then you do have to address why y'all are choices and not the guarantee. That's what you need to understand. All right. Hey Sherry, how you doing? I'm doing good. We're gonna wrap up this live, and now that it is officially tomorrow, I'm gonna go live one more time. I'm gonna spin the wheel one more time for you guys. All right, we'll see what sign comes out, and I'll see y'all in a minute. Bye.